This past week in Academy football was a week of reversal of fortunes. Navy comes out strong against Temple, a team that has given them trouble in the past.
I mean, you think about Temple and you guys, the last couple of times they've beaten the crap out of us. You know, and when we played them in the championship game, I mean, they took out, like, not dirty wise. I mean, they were so physical. We lost like 6 players, 5 starting guys on offense, and really they beat us in a championship game. But not only did they beat us then, but then we lost the Army, we lost the bowl game. It's because of the physicality that Temple, they playing them has always been a bad matchup for us because they're really physical.
Navy not only regroups after dropping the first game of the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, but the team pushes Coach Niumatalolo to his 100th career win.
But I think more than anything, why it's not so much the win, but it's actually been a really cool weekend. Just hearing from a ton of players, a ton of emails, a ton of texts, calls. I think you can't put a price on that. Guys just from around the world, just hearing from them.
Jon Meterparel will be by in a few moments to recap Navy's big win and preview their upcoming clash at East Carolina. Meanwhile, Army, after a strong start this season and an almost unstoppable ground game, really struggled last Saturday. Erin Summers will join us a little later on to discuss the battle plans for the Army Black Knights. And shortly, Diane Roberts does a deep dive into Air Force coach Troy Calhoun, who is also on the verge of a coaching milestone. But let's start with Jon Meterparel. Jon, what a breakthrough moment for the midshipmen and their coach.
Thank you, Graham. It was a dramatic night of football in Annapolis as Navy returned home to take on Temple. The midshipmen hope to give Coach Ken Niumatalolo his 100th career victory and celebrate the fact he became the 6th active FBS coach to reach that milestone with one school. Consider it mission accomplished. Navy won it 31-29 after stopping the Owls on a 2-point conversion attempt with just 1:02 remaining in the fourth quarter, thanks to sophomore linebacker Terrell Adams' game-saving pass breakup. Adams was part of a defense playing without 4 starters, but somehow found a way to earn the signature win.
Throughout practice, we just talked about how we know those guys went out during Air Force Week, but we just knew that it was a great opportunity for our second guys and third guys to step up.
Coach Niumatalolo was thrilled to watch Adams make the play that preserved the victory.
You got to be a mentally tough person. Things looked bleak for us. They went down the field, they scored, and instead of putting our head down, the defensive coaches are telling, hey, we got to make one play for the game. And Terrell stepped up in a huge crunch situation, a guy that doesn't have much experience, and speaks volumes to the type of young man he is.
Navy's vaunted running game continued its success. They set the tone with a punishing 17-play drive to start the game. Fullback Nelson Smith gained 120 yards and scored twice, while Jamel Carruthers added 53 yards and capped off the opening drive with a score. Quarterback Dalen Morris missed last week's loss at Air Force, but returned to make steady decisions guiding the triple option. The offense picked up 301 yards with 253 on the ground. Coach Niumatalolo cherished the chance to reestablish Navy football and come out swinging. It all added up to a historic 100th win to add to his impressive resume.
Well, I've never played, so I don't, I haven't done anything. It's all the great players over the years, great coaches over the years. Just so many of them. But when you win football games, they're always program wins. So just couldn't be more proud of our players. I'm proud to coach here at the Naval Academy. I love this school and feel very blessed to be here.
Navy's AAC schedule continues Saturday with a trip to East Carolina. And now that they earned their second conference victory, Dalen Morris knows what they need to do to keep the momentum going.
And keep the hard head on. We're going to come to work every day, and we're going to keep working. Our coaching staff has done this a long time. They know how to win football games, and we're going to trust in their process and try to execute their game plan every week.
Despite a 2-2 record, they're atop the conference standings going into the game against ECU. We'll be back next week to take a comprehensive look at that one, but now let's send it to Erin Summers for more on Army's win over the Citadel. Erin.
Yeah, Jon, not what was anticipated in the Army-Citadel matchup. Vegas had the Black Knights as a 31-point favorite and the point total at 46. While the 14-9 win wasn't exactly a high-scoring affair, it was a win Army was happy to get.
First, I want to give credit to the Citadel. They played a great game, very well coached. They certainly defensively, their defense just did a great job preparing. They had a great plan, and they executed really, really well on defense. They disrupted us the entire day. Fortunately, our defense played well enough to deserve to win the game, and they did. They got stop after stop. They had a couple big plays.
Army's defense limited the Bulldogs' offense to just 9 points, had 8 tackles for a loss, 2 interceptions, and held the Citadel to less than 100 total yards in the second half. The Black Knights' special teams had their second blocked field goal of the season.
Oh, our guys have been playing really hard and playing really well. You know, today they beat some blocks and made some plays to make a stop there. The blocked field goal was huge in the game for sure. And had they made the field goal in the first half and made that field goal there, it's a completely different ball game, obviously.
Coming into it, we knew it was going to be a physical game, and that's exactly what we got. So our strategy, anytime you're playing a triple option offense, is to stop the ball and come up with big plays when we can, anytime the ball goes out on the perimeter. And I think that's exactly what we did today.
Radigan was a big part of that defense. He was second in tackles for the Black Knights. However, offensively, Army just couldn't seem to get the running game going.
Frankly, our offense just got whipped, and you know, they deserved their defense and the way they played to win the game.
The Citadel defense held Army, a team that has been averaging 363 yards on the ground, to a season-low 153 rushing yards and 228 total. The Black Knights unable to find the end zone until just under 3 minutes left in the first half.
They play hard. They're physical, and we didn't do a very good job blocking them. Didn't move them off the ball, and just didn't give ourselves a very good chance most of the day. Their defensive guys played better than our offensive guys.
You know, it's a lot of it is about humility. You know, we know that we didn't play our best football at all, and we hold ourselves to a high standard. So we know we're going to have to really watch the film on this, see where we went wrong, and just correct our mistakes. With
quarterback Christian Anderson listed as questionable, backup Jamel Jones got his first career start. While the offense had difficulty moving the ball, Coach Monken was quick to defend the play of his starting QB, instead putting the onus on the line.
Coach makes the call. He just runs the plays. But when nobody's blocking or sustaining a block, it's really hard to run an offense. I don't care what offense you run. You can pick any offense you want. If you don't block them, you're not going to move the ball.
What do you hope that your team can learn from this game?
I hope we learn to block better.
With Army's touchdown leader, running back Santa McCoy, out with an injury, Jones picked up some of the slack for the Black Knights offense. He became the first Army QB to have at least 1 passing and 1 rushing touchdown in consecutive games since 2015. Army is on the road for just the second time this season, this time against the University of Texas at San Antonio in the Alamo Dome Saturday. UTSA is coming off an impressive showing against number 15 BYU, as the Roadrunners racked up 287 yards through the air and 359 total yards in a 27-20 loss. UTSA is 3-2 overall. One of those wins, 37-35, over an opponent Army faced earlier this season, Middle Tennessee State. Army defeated the Blue Raiders 42-0. The Black Knights and Roadrunners met for the first time last season, with Army winning 31-13. Questions still remain for the Army offense. Will quarterback Christian Anderson be ready to go? Will running back Santa McCoy be back in the lineup? Either way, one thing's for sure. Coach Monken expects a better run game Saturday.
All right, we're adding a new feature to Behind the Lines. We're going to take you behind the scenes, and we're going to take you to what we would consider kind of a little newsroom meeting to discuss the play of the week. It's a new feature we want to add to Behind the Lines. You know, we could have done this like a popularity contest. What was your favorite play? Yada, yada, yada. We could have gone around and said, oh, my favorite play was this. What was yours? But nah, that's not how we roll. We're going to run our play of the week like a courtroom. And we're going to hear from 2 counselors, one for Navy and one for Army. And later on, when Air Force starts playing on a weekly basis, we'll also hear from our counselor on the Air Force side of it. But for now, let's start with our counselor for the Army team and her case for why her play should be considered the play of the week. Erin Summers, the courtroom is all ears.
We just saw how the Army Citadel game panned out. It was a 14-9 win by Army. Army struggled offensively, and coming out of the half, they were only leading 7-3. They needed a big play, and they got it from their special teams. The Citadel charged down the field, 10 plays, 5.5 minutes. They were wanting to score, but Army said no. The Black Knights blocked the field goal and then turned around, marched down the field themselves, and scored a touchdown. It was a 10-point swing in the game. Momentum went to the Black Knights, and they were able to carry it on for the win.
All right, that's going to be a tough case to follow. Jon, what is your case for Navy? Why should the court consider your case and your play as the play of the week?
Well, with all due respect to Counselor Summers and a big win for Army, this is arguably the play of the college football weekend by Terrell Adams, a game-saving pass breakup on a 2-point conversion at the goal line with 1 minute and 2 seconds left. That was enormous. It shows his instinctiveness. It shows his recognition ability. It shows that he was coached well. And oh, by the way, this was Coach Ken's 100th career victory with a midshipman. You can't underestimate that. This is enormous. This is a punctuation mark play by Terrell Adams at the goal line, an outstanding moment for an outstanding team, and a team that was playing, oh, by the way, without 4 defensive starters. They pick up a conference win as they edge Temple.
All right, Erin, let me make sure I understand the facts of your case. You're saying that Army special teams come in, they block a field goal, and they turn around and score a touchdown, and that is the game changer for Army. That's essentially your case, correct?
Absolutely. That blocked field goal gave them the best field position of the day. When the offense was struggling, they needed that help.
Jon, so let me make sure the court understands your position. Your position is that on a 2-point conversion, Terrell Adams comes in and makes the smart play, blocks the pass, and saves the game. Is that essentially it?
Yes, that's absolutely it, and that's an unbelievable way to end this game. Such a momentous occasion in Annapolis. Consider what it meant, giving Coach Ken his 100th career victory. That was enormous, arguably, as I said, the play of the college football weekend.
All right, counselors, you've given this court a lot to consider. Understand that Army's play was a game-changing play and Navy's play was a game-saving play. The court will consider your positions carefully and will rule on this at the end of this broadcast. Stay tuned for more Behind the Lines. Diane Roberts will be here to take a look at Troy Calhoun from Air Force as he approaches his 100th win. Stay tuned, we'll be back with more right after this.
Falcons head coach Troy Calhoun is the first coach in the 100-plus year history of Service Academy football to lead teams to a postseason bid in his first 6 seasons. And now another 100 is starting to reveal itself. Calhoun is just 1 win away from joining his predecessor, the legendary Fisher DeBerry, in the 100-win club. We had the opportunity to ask some players and the humble coach himself about reaching that mark. Now, note this, the players, they're super excited. Coach Calhoun, he's even-keeled about everything.
You know, it's not something to which, Diane, we've given even any thought to. And for us, we are fully a team. And there's no coach, there's no player that it's just who we are. I mean, that's everybody that's involved, whether you're in equipment, whether you work in recruiting, in our front office, in video, our coaches, our players in the weight room. We are a team.
I mean, I didn't, to be honest, I didn't even know that. And to be honest, if you ask him, I don't think he even knows that either. He's probably just looking at the next week and saying that we're going to go 1-0, and that's kind of the way, the attitude he brings to us every week.
Oh, I mean, that's a huge milestone for a head coach, and you know, just to be able to be a part of that would be an amazing experience. You know, Coach Calhoun's a great coach, and you know, he's definitely deserved all of those wins.
It's obvious Calhoun's players really love and respect him as a coach, but we wanted to know what they think is the best thing about him.
I like the fact that that everything is, we prepare for the unexpected. And so, we had a season get canceled, obviously, and we thought that we were done playing football. And a lot of people maybe thought it was a little bit crazy about the way we were preparing, but he was still preparing like we were going to play football. And there's nothing left off the table with him. He's always preparing for everything that could come up. And then when it does come up, you realize all the value that those sort of things have.
I think just how personal he is with the team. He's definitely interacting with us all the time throughout meetings. He'll come in, check on us, make sure we're doing good. And there's stuff like outside of football as well. He comes up to us and says, if you need anything, my phone, he gives us, we have his phone number. We can reach out to him at any time. And he just comes in and just, asks if we need anything, not just football-wise, but kind of like at a more personal level as well.
Last season, Coach Calhoun became Air Force's second winningest coach. Well, with the big win last week against Navy, he is just one win away from a coaching milestone, something that he insists is really just a team honor. The first chance for the Falcon squad to get him that 100th career win, it comes October 24th against San Jose State as the Mountain West Conference gets gearing up. We'll be back with more Behind the Lines after this.
This week in Academy football history takes us to the historic Polo Grounds in New York City on October 17, 1953. The Army Cadets took on the undefeated and 7th-ranked Duke Blue Devils, a game legendary Coach Earl Blake would call the game never to be forgotten. Army's vaunted running game took control early, marching down the field. Capped off by a 9-yard scamper by halfback Tommy Bell, putting the Cadets up 6-0. The extra point made it 7-0 Army in the first quarter. In the second quarter, the passing of Duke quarterback Worth a Million Lutz led the Blue Devils down the field, and they tied the game on a quarterback sneak 7-7. In the second half, Army took the lead again, this time behind the passing of Cadet quarterback Pete Van. The right-handed quarterback made a left-handed throw to keep a drive alive, and he then found halfback Pat Hubel for a 43-yard touchdown. And with the extra point, Army led 14-7. Duke came back once again. Lutz on a short run, and the Blue Devils were within one. But they missed the conversion, and the score was Army 14, Duke 13. Duke threatened in the closing minutes thanks to a double reverse to All-American running back Red Smith, who looked well on his way for the go-ahead score when out of nowhere, Army end Bob Mishak chases down Smith after 73 yards at the Army 7-yard line. Duke got down to the 1, but on 4th down, Army stopped them and held on to win a contest Coach Earl Blake would credit for helping Army football regain its soul after a turbulent couple of years. The Cadets would go on to finish 7-1-1, ranked 14th in the final season AP poll. It also marked the final season for Army offensive coordinator Vince Lombardi, who went on to the NFL's New York Giants as an assistant the next year.
All right, as we close out this broadcast, we've got two pieces of business to take care of. First, the verdict on the play of the week. The court has given careful consideration to both of our counselors. Erin made a compelling case. Yes, the blocked field goal was a big factor and a game changer for Army. But the game saver and the play of the week goes to Terrell Adams and Navy. Here's why. If you consider both plays, they both were critical in the result of the game. But there was more on the line for Navy. And given the context of that game, the court had to rule in favor of Navy. Not only did that game push Coach Niumatalolo into the 100-win category, but it also was a turnaround for that team coming off a devastating loss against Air Force in the first leg of the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy. Based on the context of the game, the court's giving this play of the week this week to Navy. All right, as we go out tonight, we want to pay tribute to Coach Niumatalolo on his 100th career win and take a look at some of the aspects you might not consider when it comes to winning your 100th game. How did he celebrate?
Normally do the same thing after games. You know, we go to Safeway. I sit in the parking lot and look at some clips of the game while she, you know, gets some stuff Saturday night or whatever. But we don't go there anymore. We have it delivered because, you know, with all the pandemic and stuff, so don't go to. So I said, well, why don't we go to Chick-fil-A? But Chick-fil-A was closed because the game was closed a little bit later. So I was just going to celebrate by, you know, eating bad for that night and go get a milkshake or something. So I went to McDonald's. I haven't been to McDonald's in years, you know what I mean? But it's kind of nice to get a double quarter pounder with cheese. You know what I mean? Just that was the way I celebrated.
Does he spend much time reflecting?
You know, when we lost the Air Force, we had to keep pressing forward. We squeaked out a win this past week. We got to keep pressing forward. I guess your question, Wags, I mean, it's not time to sit back and reflect on it yet. I'm still coaching. You know what I mean? Maybe when I'm in Hawaii, like I said, driving the bus and whatever, how many years that I can sit back and reflect. But in this profession, if you start reflecting on stuff, you'll have a lot of time to reflect because you'll get fired.
And here's what means the most to him when it comes to winning his 100th career game.
Just grateful, you know, grateful to all of the coaches, players. You know, first and foremost, it always starts with players. We've had a lot of great players over the years, a lot of great coaches, all the hard work, all the staff members. But I think more than anything, why it's not so much the wins, but it's actually been a really cool weekend, just hearing from a ton of players, ton of emails, ton of texts, calls. I think you can't put a price on that. You know, guys just from around the world, just hearing from them. That's probably more than a milestone, just to hear back from players and, you know, just stuff that, you know, you never knew. You know, you yell at these guys all the time. You know what I mean? And just, it's funny. I just enjoyed the weekend, just reminiscing, talking with former players.
All right, that's going to do it for us for this edition of Behind the Lines, the Academy Football Report. We hope to see you all next week, same time, same channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.